my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Let's go. It's time for liftoff. Come on. 5, 4, 3. Come on. We got this, folks. Let's get going. On Vaughn Radio. Let's go. Welcome, welcome, show with no namers. That's for you. Thank you for joining us every day and giving us all your energy. Yeah, that's awesome. That's all a teacher can ask for. You may make fewer mistakes, more mistakes, but as long as you've got the right attitude, as long as you've got the energy, those good vibes that you bring with you every day, well, then you've got it made in the shade. ¿Cómo va la expresión? Lo tienes hecho. You've got it made y a la sombra, in the shade. Nos encanta rimar. Especially when I'm as drunk as a skunk. Ahí tenemos otra rima. Más pedo que Alfredo, you say. This poor Alfredo guy, what a reputation he has. Or el que se fue a Sevilla perdió su silla. You snooze, you lose. Sin haberlo planeado, hecho un pareado. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. You aren't the only ones who like to come up with funny rhymes. All right, my amigos, what an amazing show we've got for you today. The next 2 hours are going to be action-packed, full of interactive English, fun, games, and a little bit of everything. As you know, this is a variety show. Vamos a pronunciar esa palabra, variety. No sabes cuántas veces he oído variety, right? Variety. You say magazine, de hecho, but we call it a variety show where you can learn a little bit about everything and have fun in the process. So why don't we kick things off with today's Say What soundbite. Get up. Say what? Yes, yes. The Say What soundbite here on the show with no name, where you are exposed to all different accents. Tons of different accents that you can find. That's right. All right, amigos. You know how it works. All you got to do is listen carefully and give me your observations in a nutshell, en resumidas cuentas. I want you to tell me what you heard, some observations, sum it up. Resúmelo. Also, hopefully, after the third, some of you get it after the third or the fourth listen, well, you guys might, depending on how hard it is, you might be able to get it all. We'll see. Some days, a couple people get it. Some days, nobody gets it. But hey, sounds like life itself, right? Also, a quick reminder, we've got our question of the week. If you'd like to participate, you can do that. Make sure you send it to me before Thursday evening. And I want to know, are you more of a DIY person, do it yourself, a handyman, a handy woman? Or are you a call the guy person? Llama al que sabe de eso. Okay, and of course, you've got to defend your answer. Special shout out to Anix and Elena. They've already participated. So you'll hear from them on Friday in this section. Also, Elena sent me a double trouble as well. So we'll take a look at that in another show. Remember, guys, my email address is open. You know, it's you all know it. Not my personal. Well, some of you know my personal one. But I like to separate it because this way on the weekend, if I don't want to see work things, I don't have to, right? So my work email address, write it down. Even if you don't want to participate in the question of the week and you'd like to, just reach out, saludar, hola, solo que soy de tal. I love hearing from you guys. As you know, it's always magical to see that we've got listeners all over the world in all different walks of life, condiciones sociales, and you are all unique and cool people in your own way. So if you'd like to participate or just suggest something for the show, you can send a 1-minute voice note to A. Alonso. That's all together, A. Alonso. So it's Alonso. A. Alonso at grupovon.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, the question of the week, keep it at around a minute. You should be able to express yourself and your opinion in about a minute or so. And I look forward to hearing from you as always. All right, now we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite. Here it is for the first time. And as always, listen carefully.
Like even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And, people ask me, why did I ever use Auto-Tune? And, cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. That's right. Well, as you know, you've got so many materials at Von Tienda. It's not just This Book is the Shit. Just imagine a bookshop with only one material. No, we've got hundreds of different materials. We've got materials that have to do with phrasal verbs. We've got materials that have to do with grammar. We've got other ones that are common mistakes. And today we're taking a look at one that has to do with sports. And I love sports. I'm not very sporty. I'm not very athletic. You could just look at me and see that. I'm not in horrible shape, but I've never been too athletic. I love sports, but I also know my strengths and my weaknesses. And I can just give you a little clue over here about your teacher. I was usually, if not the last one picked, one of the last ones picked. Yeah, I know. You know, when in school, they would choose two captains, and then the captains would pick their teams. Nobody was fighting over me. In fact, quite the contrary. No, you take Alberto. You can go with you. Don't worry. Now, that doesn't mean I don't do sports. I love, my daughter and I, sometimes we kick around the soccer ball, el balón de fútbol. I love shooting hoops. I'm not good at it, but, again, do you have to be a good singer in order to sing? Well, yeah, professionally, sure. Well, actually, not really these days, do you? Half of the people who are singing these days, it's not even their real voice. It's auto-tune, that effect, that special effect that, Cher was the first one to use. Remember Cher? Do you believe in love after love after love after love? That after love part. Now, the cool part about what Cher did there, she just used it in part of the song. But some artists, and I say that in air quotes, lo digo irónicamente, I've never heard their real voice. So we don't know if they're good singers or not, It's a weird world we're living in when you don't really have to be a good singer to sell millions of or get millions of downloads. Now, I don't know if they sell albums anymore. The whole way we consume music has changed. All right. So today we're going to take a look at Speak Basketball in our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, folks, you want to shoot some hoops? I think you say echar una pachanga. It's another way of saying, shoot the ball around. You don't have to be serious. You can just shoot hoops. And I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. And as I said, even if you're not good at it, it's something that you can do. You don't need too much. It's not like snowboarding where you have to go to a mountain. You have to usually stay overnight because, as we know, it's not easy to get to some of these beautiful, mountainous regions. But basketball, really all you need is a hoop and a ball. Now, I think the success behind soccer, or football as it's called in Europe, is that. What do you need? A ball. Oh, yeah, but you need a goal. Do you? Or do you just need two flip-flops and you put them, or two trees or two shirts and they're your goalposts? See? So I always like that too. The sports that you don't really need too much equipment, too much gear, es otra forma de decir equipo, to get started. So, folks, basketball, as you know, in the United States, I don't have to tell you about the popularity of basketball in the United States. In fact, the other day, actually with my daughter and my wife, we watched, I'm sure it's a movie you've all seen, Space Jam, the original Space Jam, guys. We don't do remakes here. Yeah. with Michael Jordan, with his airness, as they call him. And I remember loving it when I was a kid, and I loved it last weekend too. And the best part is my daughter loved it as well. And I got to tell her, I'm like, that guy's Michael Jordan. He is the greatest person to ever step on the court, ever. Sorry, F you, LeBron James. Sorry. You're just not the first is the first. And then you can come and you can play. You're a really good player, but who's the first one to have their own sneaker, to become a brand, a symbol in and of themselves? And I know there's that debate, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. It's like Superman and Batman. I prefer Batman, but Superman would destroy him in a fight, you see. So Michael Jordan, his airness. And then I got to tell my daughter, well, Daddy, when I was a little kid, I used to go see Michael Jordan play, and it was incredible. And wow, what memories, huh? I feel old, but he is still the greatest. And I didn't only go see him play, but I also ran into him in Las Vegas one night. That's right. I was in Las Vegas with some friends. It was the opening of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. I'll never forget it. And guess who was there? Well, among others, Michael Jordan. Now, if you know a little bit about Michael Jordan, he is a big gambler. Le encanta el juego. So when I saw him, I didn't say anything. Okay, my friends and I just looked at him in awe, in asombro, like, there he is. Oh my God, he's a real person. And here he is in the casino. Oh my Lord. Now, we didn't say anything to him because, as I said, he's a serious gambler. And I don't think it was the moment to talk to him. Plus, he was surrounded by 5 gorillas who, you don't want to put them to the test and see if they're doing their job. So lots of cool stories. Well, that's the United States too, I lived in Hollywood. I lived in New York. And where do celebrities live? Usually in one of those 2 cities, or at least they have a home there because they do a lot of work there. So it wasn't rare to see, Harrison Ford walking down the street, or, I remember in Hollywood, Christina Ricci, the original Wednesday, remember, from the Addams Family. I remember her coming in with her friends to have a drink at a bar I was working in. And it was just like, as if another person was in there. It was no big deal. No era gran cosa. All right, so we're not here to talk about celebrity sightings, though, but just the fact that I got to share air with Michael Jordan is just one of those things that you will never, ever forget. All right, so let's listen to today's little excerpt from Speak Basketball. And as always, pay attention because I will have some questions for you in our pop quiz.
Pista 19. Capítulo 3. En ataque. Conceptos básicos. Lección gramatical. Los verbos modales.
Modal verbs.
No puedo hacer mates desde el tiro libre.
I can't dunk from the free throw line.
¿Podrías pasarme la pelota, por favor?
Could you pass me the ball, please?
Puede que falles la entrada si te confías demasiado.
You may miss the layup if you get too confident.
¿Podría hablar con el doctor del equipo más tarde?
May I talk to the team doctor later?
Él puede que tire desde medio campo en el próximo partido.
He might shoot from half court in the next game.
Tienes que ser más agresivo en ataque.
You must be more aggressive on offense.
Deberías pedir el balón cuando cortas a canasta.
You should ask for the ball when you cut to the basket.
Me desmarcaré en la próxima jugada. Búscame.
I'll get open next play. Look for me.
Confía en mí. Si pudiese hacerlo, lo haría.
Trust me. If I could do it, I would.
Pista 20. Capítulo 3. En ataque. Conceptos básicos. Pon a prueba tu oído. Los fundamentos ofensivos.
Offensive fundamentals. Okay, listen up. We're going to work on some fundamentals. I want everybody to come to this basket. Get in a line on the left wing and in the opposite corner. The ball starts on the wing. I want you to dribble twice to the middle, pass it with your right hand to the corner, and cut to the basket for a layup.
Can we shoot instead of laying it up?
No, I want layups in this drill. After the layup, the player who gives the assist has to grab the rebound and go to the line on the wing. Understood?
Yes.
After making 50 layups, we'll change the drill. Instead of passing and cutting to the basket, you'll pass it to the corner, set the pick, and roll to the basket. I want the player with the ball to fake the pass and shoot from the elbow. Okay? Let's go.
Pista 23. Capítulo 4. En ataque. Conceptos avanzados. Verbos del ataque avanzados 1. Sacar de fondo. Sacar de banda.
To take it, the ball, out.
Subir el balón.
To bring it, the ball, up.
Abrir el campo. Esparcirse.
To spread the floor. To space out.
Sobrecargar.
To overload.
Cambiar el balón de lado con un pase.
To skip the ball.
Invertir el balón.
To swing or to reverse the ball.
Salir de un bloqueo.
To come off a screen.
Pivotar.
To pivot.
¿Quién saca de fondo?
Who's taking it out?
No subas el balón. Déjale a ella.
Don't bring the ball up. Let her do it.
Van a intentar robar el balón, así que tenemos que abrir el campo.
They're going to try to steal the ball, so we need to space the floor.
Si nos hacen zona, vamos a sobrecargar el lado derecho y ver qué hacen.
If they're playing zone, let's overload the right side and see what they do.
Cambiar el balón de lado con un pase suele ser bastante arriesgado. Prefiero que lo inviertas.
Skipping the ball is usually very risky. I'd rather you swung it.
No penetres hacia el lado del que has recibido. Invierte el balón.
Don't drive to the side you got the ball from. Swing the ball.
Cameron salió del bloqueo y atacó el aro.
Cameron came off the screen and attacked the rim.
Pivota alejándote del defensor si te está presionando.
Pivot away from the ball if the defender is pressing you.
All right, guys, some key vocabulary there that you guys can learn. And some of it is not just for basketball. And as you know, many sporting idiomatic expressions or euphemisms are used in business. We already know that because I know on this show, we have looked at maybe over 20 throughout the years, over 20 or 30 different idiomatic expressions that come directly from sports, from baseball. We look at par for the course. And as you guys know, in that ad is a cuña that Damian and I do, we use like 10 different sports idiomatic expressions. It's par for the course. I'm behind the eight ball. These are all used. I would say they're used more in business and everyday situations than in the actual sport, just to give you an idea. All right, so I see we've got a lot of people participating. This is great. Good morning, show with no namers. We're going to check in with everybody in just a moment. But let's see what I want from you. Now, again, this is from Speak Basketball, just one of the many materials that we have at the Vaughn Tienda. Now, this one was done in collaboration with Ricky Rubio and Alberto de Miguel, and it's available for $16.95. That's right, $16.95, just under 17 euros. And part of the profits, parte de los beneficios, will go to the Ricky Rubio Foundation as well. Now, I don't know exactly what they do, but you can look it up. I'm sure they help young kids. I don't know, maybe sick people, but it is a foundation. It's called the Ricky Rubio Foundation. So as a percentage of that will go to a good cause as well. And I know Alberto de Miguel as well. I don't know Ricky Rubio, sadly, but I know Alberto de Miguel, and wow, really great guy. And he really put his heart into writing this book. All right, so here's the first one. The first one, hacer un mate. Again, this is not just used in basketball. This is like hitting a home run. Lo petaste, lo hiciste genial. All right, hacer un mate would be the literal, but also it's got that figurative use as well. The second one wasn't in the audio, but I want to know if you know it because it came to mind. And that is rueda de prensa. Can you use that in context? Rueda de prensa. And the last one is calambre o tirón. That's right. Calambre o tirón. So those are your 3 challenges. Remember to use them all in context just so we know you're using them correctly. Number 1, hacer un mate. Number 2, rueda de prensa. And number 3, calambre tirón. All right, folks, we'll be right back with much more Show with No Name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's Show with No Name. Don't forget to stay tuned. After today's show, you can learn to speak with confidence, as the show is called, and it's hosted by Ale. Ale. Don't miss it. Also, you've got the Pro Bow Show. What a way to start your day. You got Fitz and his program, No Excuses. Don't miss it. And speaking of Rob and Fitz, I guarantee, I'll bet my life that they will be at our upcoming trivia night. Mark your calendars. It's the 7th of October at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room. You've got all the information If you're following Vaughn on social media, you can get all that information. It's going to be fun. It's the first one since our summer break, and it's also Jules Linares' first one. So we're excited to be there to cheer her on. Animarle. Well, we're not going to cheer her up unless she's sad. If she's sad, we'll cheer her up. But if we want her to do a good job, we'll cheer her on. ¿Ves? Cambiando esa preposición, uno es animar a alguien que está de bajón. It makes sense. Listen to me. Think of it this way. Are you down? I'll cheer you up. All right? Are you on the field, en el campo? I'll cheer you on. Como adelante. Cheer you on. Keep going. Keep it up. I cheer you guys on every day. I firmly believe that. Part of a teacher's job is to be a cheerleader, right? A motivator. Like, come on, get up. Give me another 5. You got it. You got this. You can do it. I always think back about, the teachers that really influenced me, not just taught me. Any teacher can teach you. They know the material. The question is, do they influence you? Do they really make you see the light? Well, if that is what your teacher does, then that's more than a teacher. That is a godsend. We say, algo mandado desde el cielo. A godsend. Una bendición. A blessing. All right, folks. Well, we have got a lot of stuff to cover here on the show. So why don't we give you the Say What soundbite? I'm going to give it to you now for the second time, and then we'll see what you guys heard, and we'll also check your pop quiz answers as well. So is everybody ready? Here we go. The Say What soundbite for the second time.
Like, even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And, people ask me, why did I ever use auto-tune? And, cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune. Like,
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit. That's right, folks. VaughnTienda.com, where you can pick up everything you need to help you on your English journey. Today, we're taking a look at Speak Basketball, but don't forget, we've got the translation lists. We've got phrasal verbs que deberías conocer, and so much more. I also recommend our student manual if you really want to know the Vaughn method inside and out. So stop by VaughnTienda.com and take a gander. Echa un vistazo. Also, if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, well, please feel free to stop by. You can get a free level test and see where you're at on your English journey. I think it's very useful and it's free, right? Just like Vaughn Radio, you've got free English classes every day with some of the greatest teachers in the world. And I'm not talking about myself, because you can't say that about yourself. You shouldn't, right? I'm talking about Kyle Miller. I'm talking about Fitz. I'm talking about Jules Linares. I'm talking about the rest of the team. They are just oozing, refumar, you say? Oozing with talent and energy and passion. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We've got a lot of participation. Hello, Show with No Namers. Welcome. What an awesome crew we've got here. Let's see. Chris Valrol is checking in. She says, hey, Show with No Namers. What's up, Chris? Great to have you on board. There's Born to Iron Man. He says, morning, folks. Morning, superstars. How are you? All right, let's see. Vero says, morning, beautiful Show with No Namers around the universe and beyond. Still a bit under the weather, but getting better day by day. Oh, I didn't know you were under the weather. Hope you're feeling better, Vero. Let's see. Chris says, I heard an American singer, talking about the Say What soundbite. She says, I heard an American singer. I'd say he's talking about his voice, I think. At least he mentions it and talks about something that happens even when he's not using it. He also mentions his first album. Excellent. Awesome. You're on the right track. The guy is from the US of A. And he is talking about his voice, and he's talking about his first album. So great. Excellent ear. Vero says, I disagree. Superman is an alien, while Batman is just a rich guy with gadgets. Then, Vero, you agree. Unless I said it wrong, I said Batman's my favorite, but Superman would kick his ass. Isn't that what I said? That's what I meant to say. So you agree. Although, I would be rooting for Batman, but Batman's just a guy, just a normal guy with some cool toys, as you said, right? And Superman, well, he's got superhuman strength. He's got X-ray vision. He's got the five senses are totally, overdeveloped, if you will. So we agree. Unless I said it wrong, that's what I meant to say. All right, Chris Valrol says the player dunked. This is today's pop quiz. She's taking a stab here. She says the player dunked just before the press conference, despite having a cramp. Yes! Nice, and you put them all into one story. So the player dunked or slam dunked. You can say to dunk or to slam dunk, los dos, ¿no? El slam es para slam, no, el sonido que hace, just before the press conference, right? A veces también lo llaman en plan como diminutivo, like more of just like a nickname, a presser. They had a presser. It's another way of saying a press conference, despite having a cramp. And great, the word cramp, it's tirón, yeah. You can also say I pulled a muscle, right? Un tirón, pull, same thing. I got a cramp, calambre. This happens too. Sometimes it's the worst when you're in the pool and then you have a cramp in your toe and you're like, and it feels like your whole body goes off kilter. Se descoloca todo el cuerpo. So cramp. Yeah. Also, cramps happen, and I don't know, thankfully, when you have PMS, premenstrual syndrome. One of the symptoms of PMS is cramps. Okay, that's, oh man, I've got cramps. So cramp, a muscle contraction or spasm, cramp. And it's also the verb as well. Okay, the verb. So it would be darse, no, calambrarse. Okay, or yeah, darle, there's the verb, darle un calambre. It's a regular verb. My leg cramped yesterday. Okay, I got a cramp. You can also use it with get as well. So excellent job, Chris. You are on it. Let's see. There's German. German says, morning, guys. Having some breakfast here. All right. You need your energy. You're still growing. Well, I don't know about your mind is still growing. I don't know about your body. And he says, would you like some pasta with Swiss chard and tuna? I'll leave that for the other listeners. I don't normally have breakfast. I skip breakfast because for some reason, when I wake up, I'm not hungry for hours. Like, so I usually around 1:30, 2 o'clock, I have lunch. So I don't have lunch at 3 because then I'll die, right? So I usually have an earlier lunch and I skip breakfast. And again, it's not because I'm doing the intermittent fasting or anything like that. No, it's just I'm listening to my body. And my body just wants coffee in the morning, you know? So, hey, if you got some leftovers, si te quedan sobras, I'll have some for lunch. And Swiss chard is acelga. Very healthy. Very healthy. I like it. German. Let's see. Chris says, speaking of being behind the 8 ball, I saw a Spanish miniseries where literally one of the characters was behind it. She was lying on the ground and someone threw an 8 ball at her. Excellent. Yeah, well, I am sure that was done on purpose, what we would call a visual gag. You know, Mel Brooks is the king of these, you know, where you see something, you're like, aha, ya veo lo que quería decir, right? So great, Chris. That is an awesome sign. Vaya señal that you're catching these double meanings because they're not easy. You either know it or you don't. If you don't know the expression behind the 8 ball, pues ves a alguien ahí un poco, pues mira, está jugando al billar. ¿Y qué? So excellent, Chris. Great observation. Anix says, morning. Wow. Say what is a bit tricky for me. Great word, tricky, difícil. The only word I got was album. Oh, no. So I guess it's a singer talking about his music. I'd say he's an African-American one. I'd say you're right. Absolutely right. Excellent job over there. So yes, hacer un mate is to dunk, to slam dunk. Again, if we say, man, you really did a slam dunk, that means lo petaste. You hit a home run, you knocked it out of the park. Again, all of these sporting idioms are used regularly outside of sports. The next one, rueda de prensa, a press conference, right? A press conference, una rueda. You call it a wheel of the press. We call it a press conference. And then we said calambre tirón. There's also a group. I don't know if you remember this group. When I was a kid, I remember them. The Cramps, right? Let's take a look here. The Cramps. I think it's like punk kind of music. Like, and let's see, the Cramps. The Cramps, yes, rock band, 1976 until 2009. They're from California, and they were called The Cramps. It's psychobilly punk rock. Yeah, I remember them having like a little bit of punk rock influence over there as well. So the cramps. All right, excellent job, my amigos. But now we have got to move on. As always, we've got a lot of stuff to look at. So let's have a look at today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, folks, welcome to the news report here on the show with no name. All right, well, I call this story, So No One Told You It Would Ever Take This Long. What? I said, so no one told you it would ever take this long. Así que nadie te dijo que iba a tardar tanto. All right, what am I talking about? Well, folks, New York City is finally getting a Central Perk. That's right, a Central Perk. Many of you know this from the series, very popular series, Friends. And it's interesting because the word perk means to make coffee. I'm going to perk some coffee, coming from the word percolate. But also a perk is un beneficio, una ventaja. But if somebody is perky, they have a lot of energy. Animado, alegre. So wow, what a rich word there, that word perk. Oh, I love this job because of the perks. Los beneficios, te ponen un coche, tal. Puedes salir antes los viernes. Those are called perks. You can call them benefits too. Pero cuidado, ojito, beneficios de dinero, how do we say that? Profit or profits, right? So just be careful. Profit is a financial one, and perks or benefits can be health insurance, all these other things that companies offer so that they don't have to pay you more money. Let's call a spade, right? Well, we're going to give you child care, but also you're going to make less money, right? So yes, Central Perk. Now, I've been to Central Perk, but I was there in Singapore, and I thought it was weird because I'm like, what the hell does this show have to do with Singapore? That's weird. Singapore. But it seems like there are Central Perk cafes all over the world. So a lot of other people wanted to cash in on, apunta, sacar tajada, I think you say, to make some money, to see if they can get something off of the popularity of it. So a lot of other countries have cashed in on the success of this very famous sitcom. I've got to be honest, I was never a Friends fan. I watched Seinfeld, and if it was on and there was nothing else on, but I would never just purposely watch an episode of Friends. Never. You won't find me looking for it, channel surfing. Where is it? What channel was Friends on? No, I get it. I get it for people who are learning English. It's really good. Seinfeld is only for superstars. I say them because those two were out at around the same time, and they were both sensations. They were these huge sensations. I remember going to work in New York and, oh yeah, last night on Seinfeld, that was the conversation. What happened on Seinfeld? So again, if you want to try watching Seinfeld, you got to have a pretty high level. It's a very wordy kind of humor, okay? Playing with words, puns, observational humor as well. Whereas, Friends is more like, dun, 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 I'm the funny guy. I'm the depressed one. It was, extremely popular. So if you've been to Singapore, as I have, then you can visit the Central Perk Cafe. Also in Liverpool, Beijing, Dubai, Shanghai, China. But there was just one missing. New York. Seriously. The city that the show takes place in. Now, it wasn't filmed there. You know that fun fact? Oh, no. It was filmed in Burbank, California. That's right. That fountain that you see, that's not in Central Park. That's a studio. So, yeah, I know. Same with Seinfeld. Seinfeld was not filmed in New York, too. You know why? I can imagine why. Because it's really expensive to film in New York City. So they're like, all right, well, let's go out to California. There's more room, and we don't have to film, right in the heart of it. Burbank, as many of you know, if you know California, it's Los Angeles, but it's not right, in Beverly Hills or West Hollywood, which is the real center of the city. So yeah, New York City is finally going to get a Central Perk Cafe. And the only thing is, you can expect to pay much more than $3 for a cup of Joe. Oh yeah, Joe is another way of saying coffee. You can say Joe or Java or just a cuppa, right? You want to get a cuppa? Puede ser té o café, okay? You want to get a cuppa? Oh, and remember yesterday we looked at, ¿cómo se dice cuando queremos decir, ¿quieres tomar algo? You want to have something? You want to grab a bite to eat? Ahora, to grab a bite to eat or to grab a bite is picotear. But to have something, puede ser tomar, beber o comer. So how much you think a cuppa is going to cost there? I would say at least $8. How much is Starbucks? I don't remember the last time I was in a Starbucks. I grind my own coffee, right? So I'm very particular about my coffee, and sorry if you like Starbucks, but it tastes like a dirty shoe. Seriously. It's disgusting, and it's like $8 for a cup. It's insane. So yeah, now they are gonna open. This is in late 2025. So if any of you have any trips planned, well, now you know you can have a cup of Joe at the famous Central Perk. Now, there was already one in the United States in Boston, run by the same company that's opening the one in New York. They're branching out. Branch es sucursal, so to branch out, diversificar, abrir más tiendas. So why did they choose Boston? I mean, think of Boston. What does Boston have to do with the series? Well, Boston, the rent is a lot cheaper than in New York. So, I imagine these were all business decisions, The same reason that the show wasn't filmed in New York. New York is untouchable. Let's just put it that way. And it's a joint venture. It's the Central Perk Coffee Company, joint es conjunto, and Warner Brothers Discovery Global Experiences. So what about you? Are you thinking of checking it out? Are you a fan of Friends? Well, if you're not planning to go to New York, don't worry. Maybe you just want to try some of this Central Perk coffee. Well, you can get it online and internet. They even have subscriptions where you can, every 3 months, every 2 months, however much coffee you drink, you get some coffee beans, right? Coffee beans is antes de molerlo. We call them beans, right? And then once we grind it, it's ground coffee, and it's the grinds. This. And what can I say except this is a cash cow. Friends, it's still making money, and a lot of money, decades after it went off the air. The word cash cow, I think you say gallina con huevos de oro. Well, we say una vaca que da dinero, que da efectivo, a cash cow. What about you? Are you going to grab a cup of Joe next time you're in town? Do it. Oh, and in town, cuidado con esto. It doesn't mean en un pueblo. It means por ahí, right? Hey, how long are you in town for? Viene alguien a Madrid, le digo, how long are you in town? Not in the town, sino in town, por aquí. Y eso es un totally native. All right, folks, we have got to hit another quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the second half of the show, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3 or the second half. Call it what you will. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, you can catch the show wherever you listen to podcasts. This show and all our shows. iVox, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the Vaughn Radio app. And if you're looking for courses, well, you can go over to grupovaughn.com. That's right, grupovaughn.com. We've always got special deals going on, so stay tuned. You know, maybe you were thinking of doing a Vaughn Town, and next week there's going to be a deal on Vaughn Town. I don't know. I'm just using an example. So stay tuned. And again, remember, if you're in Madrid and you are ready to party and have some fun and put your English to the test, well, make sure you come on out to our first trivia night after the summer break. It is October 7th, 2025. 8 p.m. You know, if it starts at 8, get there like 7:45. Grab a beer, get situated, find a good team. Good meaning varied, variado. It's good to have young people, older people, people who like sports, people who like more like literature. And this way you cover your bases. Toma! Otra expresión que tiene que ver con el deporte. To cover your bases es asegurar que lo tienes todo cubierto, lo tienes todo pensado. All right, my amigos, let's kick off the second half of the show with homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
Show with no name. All right, let's take a look at these homophones or not. As always, I'm going to give you 2 words. And what I want you to do is to tell me what the words are and if they sound exactly the same or not. All right, now the first word is a word you even use in Spanish, but I'm not looking for the Spanish pronunciation. I'm looking for the English one, okay? And the word is bol. Un bol de cereales, por ejemplo, okay? También es tazón, okay? También es cuenco, so bol, tazón, cuenco. También es jugar a los bolos. That's right. Mm-hmm. Do you want to jugar a los bolos en un tazón? Bueno, también es the super, right? So también es una copa, right? So, tazón en cuanto a competición, right? I'm sure you've all seen it. It is probably one of the most famous sporting events worldwide. I honestly couldn't give 2 fucks, as we say. Me importa una mierda el Super Bowl, but acabo de decir la palabra. Were you paying attention? Well, that's the first word. And the second word is a word that means to cry profusely. Yeah. Llorar a gritos. Okay. Llorar a gritos. Berrear. Oh, yeah, I like that one. Berrear could be the word as well. All right, so the first one is taza, tazón, jugar a los bolos, okay? And the second one is to cry to cry loudly, right? Or to weep, right? Do you know this word? To weep? Yes, you do. Beatles fans, still my guitar gently weeps. There you go. Weep, wept, wept. Se conjuga igual que sleep. So sleep, slept, slept, weep, wept, wept. All right, there you go, folks. Those are your two words. A, are you familiar with them? And B, do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the third time. Pay attention.
Like even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And people ask me why did I ever use auto-tune and cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune. Like,
listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. That's right, folks. Vaughn Town, it is a life-changing experience. It won't just bring your English up a notch or two, un peldaño, a notch or two, but it'll also be a turning point, un antes y un después. And that is priceless, right? When something changes our whole world, right, and all of a sudden opens up another door, you can't put a price on that. That is Vaughn Town. And the friends you'll make, the experience, the memories that you'll have will last forever. I'm not just saying this, guys. As I said, I have heard this over and over and over from all kinds of students, from students in their 20s to students in their 50s, students who are executives, students who run their own business. It doesn't matter. The reaction is exactly the same. People are raving, dando elogios, raving about Vaughn Town. If you want more information, you can go to our website. It's grupovaughn.com. Also, you can stop by and get information in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. All right, let's see what we've got over here, folks. We've got a lot of people participating in our homophones. Great to see so much participation. So just right off the bat, para empezar, just for participating. Now, let's see if you guys were right. The first person to take a stab at it is Born to Iron Man, and he gives us the correct words, and he says, no, they don't sound alike. German says they are not homophones. Chris Valrol agrees. All right, and German has given us a little sentence, as he always likes to do, which I'll read afterwards. All right, the first word is bowl. Bowl. Okay, no bol, no tanto como el español parecido, pero es un poco diferente. Bowl. I love to bowl. Me encanta jugar a los bolos, right? I love bowling. And where do you go bowling? At a bowling alley. And what do you use? A bowling ball. And what is the objective? To knock the pins down. I think los bolos, you call las cosas al final, right? So, y lo llamamos un callejón, an alley, a bowling alley. Because if you look at it, it looks like a street, right? Like a dead end street there. So it's called a bowl. Ooh, toma double trouble. Espera. Bowling alleys are right up my alley. Oh, esto es buenísimo. And you can expect to see it in the future because I just wrote it down. O sea, las boleras son lo mío. Bowling alleys are right up my alley. Justo lo que me gusta a mí. And that's a true statement. I love bowling. It's one of my favorite sports. Yeah, it's a sport. I know. You don't have to be too athletic to be a good bowler, but it does take technique, right? You got to put spin on the ball. The hardest thing to do in bowling is a split. From my experience, a split is when you knock down, let's say, 8 pins out of the 10 pins, but the 2 that are left, one is all the way on the left and one is all the way on the right. What do you do there? That's when you have to spin the ball. Tienes que ponerle efecto so that it spins, hits the pin, and hits the other pin. It's not that easy. As we say in English, easier said than done. So bowling, to bowl, as we said, the Super Bowl, a bowl of cereal. Remember, in English, we don't say cereals. Me gustan los cereales. I like cereal, right? We would normally say it without an S when we talk about it. Also, you've got the toilet bowl, right? The toilet bowl is la taza del váter, right? And bowl is cuenco también, okay? Cuenco, bola, what else? We said tazón, so literally tazón, and also una competición. Okay, and the second word is ball. Okay, let me give it to you. They're going to ball if they lose the Super Bowl. They're going to ball, también se puede decir, to ball your eyes out, frase hecha, to ball one's eyes out. They're going to ball their eyes out if they lose the Super Bowl. They are not homophones. I couldn't fool you guys. All right, I'm not done. The second word has a homophone. Which one is it? What other word sounds like llorar a mares, right? Berrear. There's another word that sounds like that second word. Can you tell me which one it is? Let's see. Germán's sentence is bawling because of the Super Bowl without even being a player is real mature, man. Yeah, not my cup of tea. I don't know. I've never, ever, even when I lived in the United States, all my friends played. They loved it. For some reason, I just never got into the NFL, ever. I don't know what it is. It never caught my attention, really. Never piqued my interest, as we can say. And I've been to a couple games. I was invited, with friends. Oh, you were going to go see the Giants this weekend. You want to come? Yeah, whatever. My uncle, I'm going to watch the Jets game. Okay, cool. You want to watch it with me? Yeah, whatever. So I don't know why, but the same way I love the NBA and I used to follow MLB, Major League Baseball, NFL is not my cup of tea, right? It is not up my alley, to use the expression before. In fact, I always teach those expressions together. It's not my cup of tea, no es lo mío. It's right up my alley, es justo lo que me gusta a mí. Those are two opposites, right? So I usually teach them together. All right, so does anybody know what that second word sounds like? Sounds exactly like pelota. That's right. In fact, before I saw the word written, because remember, native speakers, we learn by hearing, then speaking, then writing. That's why in Spain, we did it all backwards for the last 40, 50 years. Now that's changing. We're teaching people to read and write and then speak. It's out of order. It's not the natural order of things. Why? If the natural order works for our own languages, why wouldn't we use it for other languages? So until I saw the word written, and even I remember when I saw it written, I was like, Calla. Eso es B-A-W-L, no es B-A-L-L. And I guarantee if you ask most Americans, they'll think that that word is ball. B-A-L-L. So to bawl your eyes out. I thought you were going to have a ball, but in the end, you're going to bawl your eyes out. So even though those words weren't homophones, we did find a set of homophones. All right, folks, we've got to move on, though. It's time for Real Reviews.
First of all, what went through my mind is how stupid am I to actually volunteer for this?
Real Reviews.
Real Reviews found online.
Real Reviews.
It was unbelievably painful.
That's right, folks. Unbelievably painful. And that's what we look at here in this section. We look at these reviews that you'll find. And usually we look at the negative ones because that's when people really speak from the heart, when they're upset, when something didn't go the way they wanted to, when they felt like they got screwed over, jodidos. Right? Timados. That's when people really get real. And well, I decided we could use this to take a look at different things in life. We've looked at pet shops. I think last week we looked at a pet shop, una tienda de mascotas y no solo mascotas, but remember we said a lot of times they have pet supplies as well, como los llaman, todo el resto que va con eso, no? Food, leashes, collars, so all kinds, fish tanks. These are pet supplies. Well, today we are going to a stadium. That's right. We're going to a stadium, or as we call it, a ballpark. So a ballpark is specifically used for stadiums that are where baseball is played. Okay. So a stadium is in general, and a ballpark is one where baseball is played. Now, this one is a stadium / ballpark, because even though there are concerts here, there are also baseball games. In fact, it is one of the most famous baseball stadiums in the world, but I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want any lawsuits, even though these aren't my words. I'm just sharing them with you. So let's take a look. I've been to about 10 MLB parks. MLB stands for Major League Baseball. And this is fácilmente, the worst I've been to. Okay? It's the worst, el peor. A 40-minute wait for a hot dog. O sea, 40 minutos de espera. Fijaos como lo han usado como adjetivo, no coge ese. So it's not 40 minutes wait. It's a 40-minute wait. Una espera de 40 minutos for a hot dog. Para un perrito caliente. Or as we call them at the ball game, a foot long. Porque son un pie. 12 pulgadas, right? A foot long. Ineptos, I think you get that word, and slow concession staff. Concessions is the food, okay? So concessions is where they really make their money at American stadiums. Ugly, dated-looking facilities. O sea, las instalaciones feas y dated, que ya son anticuados, right? Necesitan una remodelación. Then they said TSA level entrance security annoyance. Now, TSA, those are the ones that are tasked, le dan la tarea, the Transportation Security Administration. Los pesados del aeropuerto en Estados Unidos, those guys, okay? TSA level entrance security annoyance. O sea, se creen que estamos entrando en un avión para entrar en el estadio. You know, we all know that security guard syndrome, right? Oh, stop right there. Okay, guy. All right. We know who was teased in high school. Sabemos quién se burlaban en el instituto, ya. And then he says, a hassle. This is a great word, a hassle. Hassle. Es incómodo. Hassle. How would we translate the word hassle? Es incómodo. It's a hassle. Engorro, dificultad, confusión, right? It's a hassle. Hassle. We use the word quite often. So a hassle to get to and to leave. O sea, un follón para entrar y para salir, which is the worst. You know, after a game, you don't want to be sitting in traffic for 25 minutes or 25, 45 minutes, right? I forgot where the stadium was. There's always traffic, even when there isn't a game near this stadium in the Bronx. You know it or you don't. So it says a hassle to get to and to leave with nothing to do near the stadium. Excessive police presence, demasiado policía, lame, snooty fans. And lame is como, man, this is lame. Lame es débil, no cojos, aburridos, sosos, right? These are all ways to say lame in Spanish. And snooty is like snobby. It's another way to say snooby. Snobby. Snooty or snobby. Lame, snooty fans. And he says, it's hard to think of really anything redeeming to say about this place. The other one said, the supervisor at the gates was useless, inútil. I missed half the game because of a ticket issue, and they wouldn't let me outside to get my family, even though it was a very rare situation. They were not flexible. The way they do concessions is awful. You're in line for 3 innings. Estás en cola durante 3 partes del partido. So there's a common thread there. The concessions at this stadium are not really good. And you know what? I can confirm I've been to this stadium. And if you want a beer, like it's a time investment here. Whereas if they were smart, they would make it easy and fast. So the faster you get your beer, the faster you consume it and the more money you spend. But if you're trying to cut corners, hacer recortes, well, you get what you get. Awful, que es otra palabra para terrible, concessions. All right, amigos, we've got to move on, though. It's time for our spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. All right, folks, welcome to our spelling bee. This is round 1. Let's rock and roll. The first word, you do not have to capitalize these. You can if you'd like. The first word is Q-U-A-R-T-E-R-B-A-C-K. The second word is R-U-N-N-I-N-G space B-A-C-K-S. The third word is R-E-C-E-I-V-E-R-S. The fourth one, T-I-G-H-T space E-N-D-S. Number 5, O-F-F-E-N-S-I-V-E space L-I-N-E. And the last one, L-I-N-E-B-A-C-K-E-R-S. Whoa. All right. That was fast. All right. Well, I've got to give you round 2 because if not, we are going to run out of time. So here's round 2, and I'm going to slow down a little bit. The first word is Q-U-A-R-T-E-R-B-A-C-K. Number 2, R-U-N-N-I-N-G space B-A-C-K-S. The third one, R-E-C-E-I-V-E-R-S. The next one, T-I-G-H-T space E-N-D-S. The fifth one, O-F-F-E-N-S-I-V-E space L-I-N-E. And the last one is L-I-N-E-B-A-C-K-E-R-S. KERS. Folks, we're heading to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Born to Iron Man, I see two mistakes. Has confundido la A con la I. I didn't say I said A. All right, well, we'll take a look at that and much more when we come back. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Stay tuned. Up next, you've got Ale in Speaking with Confidence. You've also got the Lunchtime Show. You've got Ruby's Show. You've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares, our upcoming trivia host. You've also got Dave Boys and The Salad. You've got Kyle Miller and Drive Time for your commute home. Followed by Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. You got Richard Vaughn Live, of course. You've got the Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. And am I leaving anybody out? I already said the Pro Bow Show, No Excuses. I think that's all of them. Well, remember, if you've got the Vaughn Radio app, you can listen to all of those programs whenever you want. There's no wrong time to learn English. You can even learn English on the toilet bowl. Hey, estábamos hablando de bowl. All right, are you ready, folks? We are going to kick things off with a challenge that I think you guys, well, we'll see, because today it's not double trouble, it's triple trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, my amigos. All right, let's see what we've got now. As you can tell, there's kind of a sporty theme going on in today's show. We're talking about some positions in our spelling bee, some NFL positions. We also mentioned bowling. Well, I've got some more sports up my sleeve. All right, so here we go. Let's see if you guys can figure these out. These, because there are 3 repetitions of the word here. All right. El tipo con la camiseta rosa que está a punto de empezar. Okay, now a punto de empezar, o si hablamos de golf, dar el golpe inicial, que es lo mismo. Es como kick off en fútbol, pues puede hablar del partido o en la reunión. Okay, a eso voy con esa parte. So it can be dar el golpe inicial, que es lo mismo que arrancar o empezar. Okay, and as I said, it has to do with golf. So if you've ever played golf, you might be in luck in today's triple trouble. So el tipo con la camiseta rosa que está a punto de empezar dar el golpe inicial, me está empezando a sacar de quicio. There you go. Ooh, I can hear you guys sweating over there. I can hear your pores opening up and the sweat dripping down your forehead. But don't fret. Nothing will happen if you don't get it. I'll tell you it afterwards, if not. But you know what? Make an effort. See what you can come up with. Even if you get 2 of them, it's better than 0. All right, so el tipo con la camiseta rosa que está a punto de empezar dar el golpe inicial, si hablamos de golf, me está empezando a sacar de quicio. You got to say it with the right tone, right? Me está tocando las narices. You thought I was going to say something else, huh? I've got a kid now. I got to watch my mouth. So, although she's already heard a lot of those words, she's like, Daddy, I know the word. I'm like, where did you hear that? She's like, Limp Bizkit. I'm like, oh, God. This is what I get for putting on Limp Bizkit for my daughter. You know, pack a motherfucking chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw. She loves it, though. Yeah, it's that kind of music that pumps you up. All right, so there's your triple trouble. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 4th and final time.
Like, even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And, you know, people ask me, why did I ever use auto-tune? And, you know, cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune. Like,
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right. It's grupovaughn.com. You can find out about the Masters, Vaughntown, one-to-one flex, group classes, whatever you're looking for. And if you need more information about that, you can go to grupovaughn.com. Also, feel free to stop by in person if you're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. And you know what happens to me every time I say those cities? I want to go to them. Seriously. I'm like, Bilbao, oh, want to go back there. Oh, Vigo, I love that place. Valladolid, oh, man, I still remember those pinchos near the Plaza Mayor and that great wine. Oh, man, you can tell I haven't had breakfast, right? Se nota. All right, let's take a look. I've got a bunch of people participating. Chris Valrol is the first one. She says, the guy in the pink tee, very good, because you can call it a T-shirt, or you can call it a T, T-E-E, okay? So the guy in the pink tee who's about to tee off, nos falta el off ahí, the guy in the pink tee who's about to tee off is starting to tee me off. So no es teeing ahí al final, Chris. Te hago un par de ajustes, okay? So the guy in the pink tee, perfecto, who's about to tee off is starting to tee me off. And that would be perfect over there. So T es un homófono para T y para la letra T. Pero esta es T-E-E. All right, let's see. Germán. The guy in the pink T-shirt, or T, T-E-E, you could put. The guy in the pink tee who is about to tee off is really teeing me off, or is starting to tee me off. It's another way of saying to piss me off, to tick me off, right? Cabrear, sacar de quicio, right? So, man, I am teed off. I am ticked off. I am pissed off. Tres formas de decir, me has tocado las narices. Okay? Just so you know. Now, if any of you have ever played golf, you already knew the word tee, porque creo que en español se llama igual, ¿no? So to tee off, it's another way of saying to kick off. Guys, the meeting is going to tee off. It's going to kick off in 20 minutes. Okay? So excellent job. That was a triple trouble. The guy in the pink tee who's about to tee off is starting to tee me off. Tocarme las narices. Now, I never understood that in Spanish. How many noses do we have? Okay, so why do you say me está tocando las narices? Wouldn't it be la nariz? I always, honestly, there's some things I get, you know, okay, perfect, got it, makes sense. Narices? I don't know anybody who has two of those. All right, so excellent job to Chris and German. Also, we've got Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol in today's Spelling Bee. All right, today's Spelling Bee had to do with the NFL. Hey, I said I don't like it, but it is part of our, I guess, national identity in the United States. And the reason I chose it is because today, in the year 1939, that's right, 1939, NBC, the network, okay, La Cadena NBC, broadcast the first televised American football game. That's right, in 1939. Wow, it's a long time ago. And what I gave you guys in the pop quiz was some of the main positions. Now, again, you want to know something crazy? I had to look them up. Tuve que buscar, ¿qué es lo que hace este y este? I know all the names. I've heard them. Oh, este es un linebacker. Este es un tight end, que también puede ser culo apretado, by the way. I know that if you take a look around the internet, you will find some jokes with he had a tight end. So these are all football positions. Now, number one was quarterback. Quarterback is probably the team leader. You would say el nueve in football, no? The one who leads the team, el capitán, it can be as well. So quarterback, it is the leader of the team, the passer, the one who goes hut, 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 and then the one who's got to create the play, right? To search for somebody who's open, desmarcado, that's a good one to know. Somebody who's open, estoy abierto, significa estoy desmarcado, me he alejado del que me está defendiendo, which is very important, right? If you're an attacker, you got to know how to get open, right? Como desmarcar and say, okay, I can't be next to him because he's going to tackle me. So the quarterback. Now, it reminds me of an expression we use in English too, an armchair quarterback. Okay, do you know an armchair quarterback? Well, an armchair quarterback is el típico que está diciendo a Messi cómo tiene que tirar el balón y nunca ha tirado un balón en su vida o lo ha metido en un gol en su vida ni ha jugado un partido en su vida. It's the one who's like, oh man, Messi, I gotta teach this guy everything from my armchair, desde mi sillón. O sea, es el quarterback del sillón. O sea, I think we all know that kind, right? That type of, I don't know what you call that in Spanish, but I don't think the British use it because it's totally American there. Man, he's an armchair quarterback. It's somebody who sits there in their living room criticizing the people who are playing because obviously he can do it better, right? So armchair quarterback. The next one is running backs. Those are the ball carriers. Okay, I looked this up because I didn't even know it. The ball carriers, the ones who carry the ball. The next one was receivers. Do I have to tell you what they do? Some of them are just, self-explanatory. Oh, he's a receiver. What does he do? Receives the pass. Okay, good. Tight end. That's a funny one. The tight ends are the blockers. So they block the other team and they catch. So they have two different roles. You've got your offensive line. They're really offensive. Well, those are your protectors. Piénsalo, están offensive lines. And then you've got your linebackers, okay? And your linebackers are more of like versatile defenders, right? Como centro del campo, I guess, if you had to compare it to football aquí en Europa. So there you go. Excellent job in our spelling bee. It's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, welcome to Name That Movie, my amigos. Let's see what we've got. All right, now I think this one's going to be really easy. Well, I'm not going to tell you the name of the organization because it's the name of the movie, okay? So, but once I say the main character's name, you're going to know. All right, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Lo voy a traducir, aunque no se hace con nombres, okay? A cryptic message from Jaime Vínculos' past sends him on a trail to uncover the existence of a sinister organization named, insert movie name here, with a new threat dawning. Vínculo learns the terrible truth about the author of all his pain in his most recent missions. Okay? So a cryptic, fácil, message from Jaime Vínculo. Un vínculo? Well, from his past, sends him on a trail. A trail es un camino. To uncover, destapar, the existence of a sinister, evil organization named, and Chris Val Roll got it, Spectre. Spectre, no sé cómo lo decís en español. En inglés es como la E y la R cambian de sitio. Spectre, with a new threat dawning. Now, dawn, right, is el amanecer. But dawning, viniéndose, avecinándose, acercándose. With a new threat, amenaza, el verbo es to threaten. Dawning, Bond, vínculo, learns the terrible truth about the author of all his pain. Author, no author, author of all his pain in his most recent missions. Great job, Chris. It's Spectre. Also, Chris taking a stab at today's Say What soundbite. All right, let's take a look at a scene from this James Bond flick called Spectre that came out in 2015. This one stars Daniel Craig as James Bond, or I should say Bond, James Bond. Now, C says, you can't really tell me that one man in the field can compete with all of this, running around out there with his license to kill. So you can't really tell me, no me puedes decir, no, mirar a la cara, that one man in the field, en el campo, o por ahí, en el mundo real, can compete with all of this, running around out there, no, correteando por ahí, with his license to kill, permiso para matar. Okay? And M says, have you ever had to kill a man, Max? ¿Has tenido que matar a un hombre alguna vez, Max? Have you? To pull that trigger, you have to be sure. Trigger, gatillo, pero trigger también es provocar, como verbo, right? They say that Archduke Francis Ferdinand's killing triggered the war, right? Para usarlo en un ejemplo. To pull that trigger, you have to be sure. Yes, you investigate, analyze, assess, target, and then you have to look him in the eye and you make the call. This comes from sports too. Tú decides, right? Tú tomas la decisión. The call is foul, offsides, that's a call. No solo una llamada, right? You make the call. Decide. The referee makes the call. So he says, you make the call. And all the drones, bugs, what does that mean? Bichos? No, en este caso, bugs are these little microphones that record you, right? It's called a bug. I think the house is bugged. They're hearing everything we say, right? So all the drones, bugs, cameras, transcripts, all the surveillance in the world can't tell you what to do next. A license to kill is also a license not to kill. And that's a wink or a nod, un guiño, to another James Bond movie, License to Kill. All right, excellent job, folks. We are moving on, though. It's time for You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
The hockey players kiss. No hockey, hockey. Y es como y latina. How do hockey players kiss? Easy. They pucker up. No. They pucker up. Well, if you know, you play hockey with a puck, right? El disco que se usa en hockey se llama puck. P-U-C-K. All right, so we got that part. So what does pucker up mean? This means get your lips ready for a kiss, right? Pucker up. Aquí ponle fruncir los labios. Hacer un mohín, right? Estirar la trompita. Hacer trompita. Oh, I didn't know that one. Coloquial. So, estira la trompita y dame un beso. Pucker up and give me a kiss. So you get it, puck? Pucker up. How do hockey players kiss? They pucker up. All right. I didn't know if you knew that word. Did you know the word pucker up? I love that one. All right. Here's another one for you. Did you hear about the referee that got fired from the NBA? Yeah. He was a whistleblower. No. Well, what does a referee do? They blow the whistle. They make the calls, right? But also a whistleblower is un denunciante. We see this, in companies. Oh, this is not a safe product, and we knew it. So these are people who inform or expose wrongdoing, no? Males. So it's called a whistleblower. Es una palabra que se ve bastante hoy en día. All right, there you go, folks. But we've got to move on because it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's famous birthdays. Number one, this Italian actress and model was born today in 1964. She played one of Dracula's brides in Bram Stoker's Dracula. She was also in The Apartment, Under Suspicion, Asterix and Obelix as well, Mission Cleopatra, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions. She was also in the new Beetlejuice movie, Beetlejuice. And she was also in Spectre, the James Bond movie we looked at. Number two, this person was born in 1942, an American singer-songwriter, and he was best known as the boy soprano, lead singer of the doo-wop group, The Teenagers. That's right. And you can see the story of his life in the film, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, which is one of their songs, an excellent song. And last but not least, I've never heard this guy's real voice because you always hear him with his auto-tune. So it's weird when you see the guy in an interview. Now, the guy has done it all. He has collaborated with every artist under the sun. But all he does is, yeah, wow, yeah. Like he does like the background I don't know. Hey, I guess some people like it, but you've heard this guy's. Well, no, I'm lying. You have not heard his voice. You have heard his voice auto-tuned in hundreds and hundreds of songs. All right, today's famous birthdays. Number 1, Monica Bellucci. Number 2, Frankie Lyman. And number 3, T-Pain, as they call him, T-Pain. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is T-Pain talking about auto-tune. And he goes, even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. No se nota. And you know, people ask me, why did I ever use auto-tune and cover up my voice with it? And I said it was just to set me apart. Distinguirme entre los demás. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune. Here he is, birthday boy, T-Pain.
Like even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And you know, people ask me why did I ever use auto-tune and you know, cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal auto-tune.
All right, that's for you guys. Wonderful job, Show with No Namers. And we are going to say goodbye with a beautiful song by birthday boy Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. It's called The ABCs of Love. Come on, do it with me. This is doo-wop. There he is. Sing it, Frankie. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Ciao for now.